Hey readers, alright, so first part of audiobooks, what to do and what not to do and everything here in on a very Monday morning. So one, when to listen. I usually listen to audiobooks when I'm doing something else. When I say something else, when I'm doing something like running or working out, or when I'm driving a car, or when I'm be in a cab and it's night time. So reading inside the cab is obviously it's not so possible. But these are the three or four scenarios when I'm also doing some household chore or when I'm brewing my coffee. So when I'm doing something else, that's when I plug into audiobooks, but not when I'm doing something very intensive or cognitively. My mind is required somewhere else. So if I'm running a program or coding it, no, not at all. So when I'm doing something where my mind is not being utilized fully, okay, I listen to audiobooks. So that's where you have to find when to listen. That's why you will see a lot of people listen to audiobooks when they're walking or when they are in a driving. So passively listening. Remember this word, passively listening. How long to listen to audiobooks at one stretch? Actually, this is where a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. They go on a long stretch. Their journey is 1.5 hours long and they'll continue listening to the audiobook, not realizing that somewhere around 20th to 30th minute mark, they would have actually stopped listening and then they were just let the book continue. Even though we have two ears and one mouth, we are poor listeners. In fact, listening to audiobooks improves you as a listener, okay? That's a very, very intangible but very powerful benefit of audiobooks. But you also have a limit. Your mind also has a cognitive limit where it will stop really listening in. So that sweet spot is between 20th to 30th minute mark. As you build that practice in, as you build your reps in, you'll go from 20 to 30. Okay, 20 is still a very sweet spot. Keep this 20 in mind as well. What speed to listen? Now this is where again there is a lot of BS around where what you should listen to 1.25x above and 2.5x above because you should quickly complete the book. There's so many books out there. Yeah, they would have their own school of philosophy. I consider that as BS. I still believe 1.5x is the final point. Okay, obviously to each their own. The speed which I find very helpful is 0.85x to 1.25x. I'll explain to you when. If I'm running, if the world around me is moving faster when I'm running or when I'm driving so the world around me is moving faster, okay, that's when I bring the speed down to 0.85x. So that's when I slow down the audiobook so that because the world around me is moving fast, I can grasp a little bit better. When I'm at home brewing my coffee, or when I'm in a cab, when I can literally close my eyes and slow the world down for myself, I go to 1 or 1.25x. So I vary this. To each their own, as I said. So you find your suitable listening speed. But as I said, we are poor listeners, so don't go over the top. I barely use 1.5x in reserved scenarios where I've gone through the book already. Maybe I've read it, I've already heard it, and I'm re-going through it. So, oh, that's not the right word, but nevertheless, I'm going through it again. So that's when I maybe occasionally I go to 1.5x. Anything more than that, even the sense it won't make sense. You won't make sense, right? If you are in too high speed. So, just a little bit of common sense there. Not for you, but to people who to give that BS call, you should listen at 2x and 2.5x. What not to do when listening to an audiobook? As I said, doing something very cognitively involved, like a very intensive activity where your mind has to be involved. Usually while driving, that's also a thing. So if you're driving a two-wheeler, I will tell you to avoid that. Okay, I know you should be strictly avoided, but a lot of people still keep the earphones in. But in a car, it's relatively safe. But obviously, in a car, don't put your AirPods on. Okay, just if you're in a car and listening, put it on a speaker rather so that you still have some senses left to drive. Okay, don't fully smash your senses in. So what not to do when listening to an audiobook? Go to this regression phase. Like, see, audiobook is about exploring, it's about soaking the information in. You're not going to retain everything out of it, okay? You are going to be like a sponge, it will retain what it wanted, and then everything else will drain out. This is also where the point of not going beyond 20 to 30 minutes comes into play. Your mind is only going to be able to soak some information. So don't continuously keep going back 30 seconds or 60 seconds, or back and forth, back. A small chapter will become huge if you do so. This is called regression. So avoid regression as much as you can. The only time I do this, okay, so there is also a caveat for everything in life. So if I'm running and the author has said something, wow, okay, now because I'm running, my mind is still on the road and traffic around and stuff. So if the author has said something, wow, I would go back and do the 30-second back or 60-second back. On Audible, set the settings to 60-second back. So if I just click a button, while the audiobook is playing, I can go 60 seconds back and listen to the entire portion again. I do think 30 seconds is the best place because you don't have to additionally listen, but in 60 seconds it gives you a little bit context. So I do regress sometime, but it's very, very rare. Only in a scenario when I'm doing something else, I missed. Rest of the times go past. Audiobooks is about just soaking in. Last but not the least, make a quick scribble of 2 minutes or 3 minutes after your listening session. I'll expand into it on how to retain better with the audiobooks in the part 2 of this video, which should come to you on a Tuesday morning, that is tomorrow. But after any listening session, just in 2 or 3 quick minutes, just scribble what you heard. Okay, don't try to make a whole summary essay out of it, but don't try to ignore it either. Just quick 2-3 minutes. These 2-3 minutes, when combined with your 20 to 30 minutes of listening session, just are going to change the game for you. They are not only going to make you a better listener, better retainer of information, but it changes the way you look at audiobooks and reading and books, all sorts of knowledge information as well. So yeah, this is what you have to do. This is the first quick video of do's and don'ts of audiobook rather, and part 2 of this will come tomorrow morning. So watch it, and that one will be a short one. This one is big because I'm today just setting this up for all of you. Do the Audible settings as well. Go to Audible. If you're on Audible, go to settings. It's on the top right corner, 3 lines. Click there, settings, and just go to the general and playback speed. That 30-second or 60-second thing, whichever you're going to be more comfortable with. I'm comfortable with 60 seconds. The default setting I think is 30 seconds. If you're fine with default, let it be. Okay, don't overdo. That's it for today. Thank you. Let me know in a group or comment that if this video was helpful for you. Ta-da!